How about today we talk about some pruning? Everybody's done it around the house. Everybody has to do it sooner or later. Got to cut a branch off a tree. They got maybe a hedge that's too high, or cedar hedges that have grown 14 feet up in the air, and you're standing in the hedge, you're standing on a ladder, you're balancing, trying to do these things. Well, this was the start of it all, probably just a hand pruner. It's I'm sure everybody's seen one. It's just got a little blade in here. You stick the branch in there, you pull it and cut them off, or it's got a saw blade on there, and you can cut off the long tree branches. They're extendable, and very easy to use, as long as you don't get the blade stuck. Now you can normally you would cut something up to maybe 3-4 inches as a diameter and the size of a branch for using this. Really does depend on the wood, whether it's a hardwood, softwood, deadwood, and willow trees are really tough to cut sometimes because they're so fibrous and wet. So you do have limitations with using your manual cutter. Now the step up from that, as we all make things easier as time goes on, is a power pruner. A power pruner is used for branches and is pretty well a chainsaw that you can extend out and reach up in the air. You can, with you standing there, you could probably reach with this one 16-17 feet. And when you use the power pruners, it's fairly simple. You just loosen off the bar and you can pull the arm out to get it for some extra length, to the length you need, and then you can just snug it up. Now these can be made even with extensions, but believe me, if you have even this one extended out, the 6 feet that it is on top, you got something that's out about 12 feet, maybe you're 5 or 6 feet. So you've got a fairly long reach, and it'd probably be like being out in the ocean and trying to catch a big marlin or something with your fishing pole. There's some weight to this to be up in the air, so be careful with it. Some of the things to look out for when you're trying to do this job: run the engine at full speed. It's a 2-cycle engine. It's just like a lawn trimmer. You'll start it up, you'll extend the pole to the length you want, and you will rest the chainsaw on the piece of wood that you're trying to cut. Much too hard to cut pulling up. You want to rest it on top and just let it fall through the cut. The important thing to do is really watch that you're just letting it fall through the cut. Don't turn around and try to start moving around with it, or trying to avoid windy days. If you pinch your bar on the tree and you're trying to yank it out, that's when you're going to bend your bar. And it's also been done where you start bending this bar, and that can get fairly costly on you because you won't be able to extend your bar or telescope it back into the unit, and it could be fairly costly to replace. It may at that point sometimes be just worth buying another one. So be cautious, pull your bar out, keep it straight where it just falls through the cut. It's very easy, and as well keep your bar chain snug, but also keep it sharp. Don't keep using a dull chain on a power pruner, where the point is that you're trying to push on it to make it cut. So that's a nice little tool to use to reach up in the air, keeps you off of ladders, keeps you in a safer position. Now another tool that along that same vein is again using your power head, and these are what's called POS systems, where you can add different attachments. Now I've just brought out the attachment that I'd like you to pay particularly attention to, and that's the hedge trimmer attachment, because there's a lot of people trying to cut hedges, real tall hedges, off of ladders. There's been a lot of people fall, they break their legs, their ankles, and it's just an unsafe situation, particularly as you get older. So if you have an attachment like this, which is for hedges, now you've all seen the standard hedge trimmer, either electric or gas, for cutting the tops of your hedges, which are maybe at your waist. But when they start getting up in the air, 8-10 feet up in the air, you can take this particular attachment, put it in your trimmer. You can turn it on an angle, maybe 90 degrees to what you're holding the trimmer at, and you can go along the top and cut it off. And then, of course, then you could straighten it out, and you could do the sides. It's all adjustable, and you could do the sides. But at least your feet are on the ground, you're in a much safer situation than trying to balance off ladders and cut these tall cedar hedges in particular. Or I've seen people even standing in the hedges and cutting, standing on their frost vents. So pay particular attention to this. As well, you can add different attachments when you purchase or rent one of these heads. You can get a little rototillers, you can use it for a standard trimmer, you can put a blade on it for cutting high grass, shrubs, weeds. So it has a lot of options for you to look at. And that's it for today. We'll see you again.